Cinema 4D Renderer inside After Effects could be a really powerful tool for creating unique visuals. In this video, I am gonna show you how to use it with a simple technique to create this isometric style. I am Mahmoud Fauzi, Senior Motion Designer and your instructor for this exciting tutorial. Let's get to it. So let's see how we can make this beautiful isometric 3D design with just a simple stroke lines. As you can see here, we will design a School of Motion logo and letters animation in this isometric perspective. If you want to follow along or try these techniques out for yourself, you can download all the project files from the link in the description below. To build our scene here, we will need to do a trick with the camera and the lights to achieve this isometric look. So we will need to add our camera. So we will use the 200 millimeters so it doesn't really show any details from the far distance. This is our trick so it doesn't show an actual perspective or a camera distortion depend on the camera lens. So we will use this one, and we will also make sure this one is Cinema 4D renderer here. Let's push the camera really far in the depths, so we will make it like minus 30,000 here. Then we can do a null object here, call it camera controller, make it 3D and parent this one to the camera. And for the camera controller, what we will do here is adjusting the isometric perspective, which will be 45, 35, 30. This is the usual angle we look at the isometric perspective. The next step will be adding the lights here. We will use parallel lights. Change this one to parallel and give it a random color for now. Let's say red. So as you can see, this one is on the top pointing here. What we need to do is having three of them pointing from the three dimensions we need. So this one is the top, we need one from the right and one from the left with the isometric perspectives. Duplicate this one and make a null object here at the center, make it 3D, parent is a new light. Let's rotate this one like this. So we'll need three lights and we have 360 degrees. So let's make this one 120. So this one is pointing from down here. And let's duplicate this one again, unparent this one, and let's make this one 120 on the y-axis. So right now we have our lights set up also. We can change the lights for now so we can feel the difference. And for the other one, we can make it green. So now we have red, green, blue lights. Let's start with our shape layer. So what we will do is trying to draw a stroke here. What I usually do is using isometric grid references. So I will grab it from the assets and put it here, make it a bit more smaller and lock it for now. And I will try to draw a stroke over one of these lines here and see what will be the result. So this one is a 2D line with a huge size. Let's make this like 500 for now, make it 3D. So right now we have this and we can start adjusting this again along one of our lines here on the isometric perspective. As you can see, this is red because the light on top here is red, and what we will do now is giving it some thickness. We will go to the geometric options, and for the extrusion here we can make it like 100. So as you can see, we started to have the thickness here, and our lights is really affecting the stroke here from both sides. So if we change any of these colors, we can just make it, let's say, purple, like this purple for example. So the lights will be affecting our 3D stroke here. And as you can see, we can draw whatever shape we need here with just simple strokes, giving the thickness we need. And we can also remove the fill here to have some sort of a hole inside the shape here. So now let's start building our School of Motion letters in isometric perspective. So now I set the grid to be a bit smaller and I reduce the opacity a bit so we can build on it our letters. Here also I have the School of Motion colors, so I can pick the colors we need here. The red color for our light on the left, and for our top light I picked the green one, And for that one on the right, I picked the purple one. So we can make sure that our isometric letters will be in the same branding color of School of Motion. Now let's hide this one, we don't need it anymore, and let's start building our letters here. I usually like to have this one so I can see where is the center exactly. So let's imagine we will have like a school of motion. So the center here will be the center of our O letter here. So let's start drawing our isometric letters here. Let's start with the O to be more in the center. So let's imagine it will be school of motion here. And we will have more of a corner edges because we are doing an isometric perspective here. Start making a shape layer here, and this shape layer would be just a simple stroke like this. We make it 3D and adjust it again to be under this isometric grid so we can see where our points will go exactly. And here in the center we'll just align this one to fit here, and the other point should be somewhere here as well. So let's make the stroke thickness 50 and the extrusion depth to be 50 as well. So right now what we will do here is continue drawing the rest of it. So imagine we have an O letter here with more corner edges. So this part on the top will be like this, having it more of a top side of the O letter. And we will have another one down there but reverse it. So what we will do is name this one O1, and let's duplicate this one and push it down 2 cubes down the center, like what we have here, like 2 cubes on top. So this one will be reversed. So what we will do is taking this point, holding shift, going up till we reach here, and same for this point, we'll go here like this. So this is the upper part and the bottom part of our O letter. Now we just made to make this extrusion. As you can see, if we try to build it directly from top to bottom like this, it will show like if it's in the same level, and we don't want to show this. What we need is having more of a optical illusion of extrusion part here going down. So we will duplicate the one on top again and make sure we have something close to the thickness we need. Let's say like this. We add a point here, we delete the rest, and let's increase this extrusion side till it reach the down part here exactly. And as you can see here, the thickness are not really enough, so I think we just need to push this one a bit more inside on the same line of the isometric grid till we reach the point we need. We'll duplicate this one and move it from the points to the other side like this, 1 point at a time, and let's adjust it till we get the same result we are looking for. So this will be our O letter. It could be smaller or bigger depend on exactly how you want it to look like. So let's make this gap here in the O letter a bit more smaller. Let's add point here, point there, delete the rest of them. Let's push the sides inside till it match with the upper part, the other side as well. And let's increase the extrusion depth till it reaches the same level of the bottom part here. 206 will be good. Copy it, paste it to this one. Now let's remove the rest of the bottom part here. Add 1 point here, 1 point there, and delete these. Select all of our strokes and make it around 40. And for this columns, we will try to make it actually fit with the sides, but let's try to push this one a bit more down so we can have more of a longer gap. For this one, we need to increase the extrusion depth. Let's adjust first the top part, push it to the edge here. Okay, and down there we should increase it till it touch. So let's say 223 will be our magical number. In the geometric option, we can copy it to the other column and adjust this one a bit till it match the down part. So right now we have a bigger gap here in the center and longer one. For the next letter, we will just copy the top part here and make another guide so we can see where it will land. Let's take it a bit away. Something like this could work. And what we will do now is trying to make one of these columns, but let's rename this one to S1 first and take one of these columns, duplicate it and name it S2. Let's push it there all the way to get it inside. Now let's adjust the extrusion depths to be maybe like 110, and let's take the top part, duplicate it, take it down, remove one of these points and adjust this one to be in parallel of our isometric grid. So as you can see, this is more of how we model in this setup. Just simple strokes here. Now we need another column. Let's take this one, duplicate it, take it there, adjust it, push it down till it's actually in parallel with this one. And for the bottom part, we will just duplicate this one, take it down also, try to keep it at the same level of the O bottom part, and take this point and make it parallel to our grid line here to fit with our column. But as you can see, the S letter now is a bit longer, so what we will do is try to reduce the gaps here on top for a bit. And actually the same thing for the bottom part. Let's try to make it equal size from the one on top, and we need to push this column down and reduce the extrusion depth till it actually fit with our bottom part. So now we have the SO parts. Now let's do the M letter. Again, let's take the top part here from the S letter and name it M1. Let's push it all the way to the side. Try to maintain the same gap we had between the O and S. Now let's build the remaining part of our M top part. So basically the M will be like a zigzag line here. So I will try to draw the rest of our shape. So this is more of a one square gap here. So let's put it here and try to push it, put a point here and make it parallel like this. So this is would be our top part. And for the columns, we'll take one of these, take it there, make it parallel, push it inside. So let's duplicate this one. Let's name it first M2, put it on top and duplicate it and take it here to our mid part. Now let's increase the extrusion depth to fit with our line down there. So I think it will be 312. And let's copy the geometric options to the other columns. I feel this gap is a bit too much. It's more than this gap, so let's try to adjust it now. Let's take all of these, move them together to maybe half of this distance. Let's try to make this gap a bit smaller, so we will try to match the gap between right and left. Same for this one. Again, parallel to our grid line. Now let's adjust the stroke depths again. So this is our school of motion letters. This could be built with different stroke widths and different extrusion depths. Depends on your scene size and how big you want it on the screen. And you should be using the same values you adjusted your stroke widths and extrusion depths to work with the animation in the next part. I hope you have enjoyed the tutorial so far, and if you really want to learn more about animation, check out Animation Bootcamp, part of School of Motion core curriculum. Check the links in the description for more. So after setting up our scene and choosing our lights colors, we'll start animating this. We all know by now this all strokes, so what we will do is basically try to give them some dimensional animation along the three axes here. First, let's try to think if we're gonna start with S letter. So what we will start to do is enabling back our isometric grid. Let's start build our animation. So what I'm thinking is we can make the S letter comes from this side and actually start drawing the S like this, expanding the end of the S letter here out of our frame, so it looks like if it's coming from outside, and we need it to be parallel to our isometric lines here. So let's apply trim pass to our first section here, and keyframe pose and start end, and after let's say 20 frames we set another keyframe, and for this we will have to shorten the end till it reach the same point we had before, which is the start of the S letter. Let's zoom in a bit more so you can see what's going on here. I think 10.2 will work. Increase the start to 100%. So right now what will look like is it's coming from outside, but we want it to be extended first. So let's delay the end from the start, like maybe 10 frames. So this is how it will look like coming in from outside. For the second part, we will trim the layer at this point, and this one is actually based on extrusion, not on trim pass. So what we will do here also is keyframing the geometric option, the extrusion depth here to be done maybe in 10 frames. So from this point to this point, we can increase this one till it starts at this point. So this will make it more continuous when it hits the same part. And at this point, we can start the other layer, we trim it, we will add trim pass, and we will start animating it. I think what we need is animating the end point. So let's go 10 frames forward and make it 100%. So now we can start with the next part. This one build also an extrusion. So generally here what we will have, let's say like whatever is horizontal will be trim pass and whatever is vertical will be extrusion animation. So extrusion depth here 10 frames, beginning 0. Push this one a bit to start at this point so it doesn't delay while we are waiting. Just when it reaches this point it continues the animation directly, and when it hits here we can animate the last part. Start from here, apply trim pass, and we can animating using the start here so we reach 0 and keyframes, and after 20 frames we can animate it till it reach the end of our shape, which should be around 89. So our keyframes now are linear. Let's try to add some timing and easing here. This one coming from outside the screen, let's try to give it high easing in. So it will looks like it's coming in a snappy way, and we don't need to ease out this one because we will continue with the next keyframes in the next part. So we'll just keep them linear till we reach the last part and we do the ease out. So for this one I felt like 10 frames is too much for it, so let's give it like 5. And for the next part let's push all of these, and then we give this another 5 keyframes, and for the next two let's give it 5 keyframes as well, and the last part should start here, and let's give this also 10 keyframes will be enough, and we give it ease out here. Now what we are missing is giving this part here some easing as well, so let's give this one some easing in and out so it will give like a longer line on the screen. Let's watch it again. As you can see here, I'm using this script to ease in and out my keyframes. You can use Motion 2 or use Motion 4 as well from Mograph. And what this script do is giving you some sliders here for easing in or easing out or easing in and out in the middle. And instead of doing it manually, this will save us a lot of time when we are handling a lot of keyframes. This is actually a very common script, and a lot of animators and motion designers are using it to ease their keyframes. Yeah, so see right now it's easing out here on top while it's stroking the rest of the S letter. I think this is really nice. Let's start with the next letter. So for the O letter, maybe we can give it a different approach to start from. Let's start with this 2 vertical parts here. We can use here maybe position with extrusion. This will give it more of interesting entrance. Let's give it like maybe also 20 keyframes, ease out. And also for the extrusion, let's do it here, geometric extrusion depths, and same for this one. So right now we can ease out these because this will be the end keyframes, and in the beginning what we will do is keep this linear, and let's push this one down here out of the frame and push the other one outside of the frame as well, but to the top. And what we will do is increasing this one to make it like maybe 300 and push it a bit more outside. Same for this one, 300, and we don't need, I think, to push it because it is going down. So now it will look like this coming in, which is nice, but we need to start this after the S letter maybe reach at this moment here. So let's start the O letter from this point. Maybe we can give the extrusion some easing in here, and this will make it last longer or make a longer line stroke here while it's coming from the top and bottom. At this point, when the shapes are coming together, when we reach this part here, we can start animating the other parts. We can just give it a trim pass animation. Let's check. So for this one, we can animate it with the start. I think 5 keyframes would be enough. And give it some easing out. And in the beginning, we can just remove all of it. Same thing for this one. Let's check the trim pass here. Would be like this. So right now, when we have a look on it, it will be more continuous like this. We can give it more interesting look maybe by parenting these parts to the columns they are coming out from. So maybe here we can parent this one to this one, but let's parent them when they reach this point so it will be easier for us. Maybe we can delay this one in the bottom so to start more when it's like this here. Maybe 5 keyframes was a bit fast, so let's try to give it maybe like 10 keyframes. Let's watch it again. I think it's looking nice. This letter comes in, the O letter comes and shapes up. So for this part here on top, we can make it try to come from top right. Let's see if it aligns with our isometric lines here. I think this is looking good. So let's animate this by trimming. Animate it in with the start 20 to 0. Ease it out, and for the end we can make it, I think 23 will be the magical number here, and let's give it some easing in and out as well and a bit of delay. When it reach here at the end, we can start expanding the extrusion of the last one. So here for the geometric shape, we go for the extrusion, and in 10 frames we can just ease it out. Maybe we can delay this one like one more frame, and this one we can give them a position keys from starting from this point. In 10 frames they reach here. Also for the extrusion, so at this point we can just ease them out. And here in the beginning we can give some easing in so it doesn't really get short really fast. Give us some extension while they are coming in. Make this one move from bottom here. The other one could be from the top with some extrusion like 300 here, and push it a bit farther, a bit more. This one also 300. Let's try to make it end at the same time, so this part here on top we can bring it a bit earlier like this. I think it's looking good, and it was quick animation as well. So I think now we only need like a background color. For this, I think this color will work. So now let's play with the colors of our lights. So let's start with these three main colors and make it a toggle keyframes. So at second three, we will have it final here. We will swap the colors. So red will be blue and green will be red and blue will be green. And make sure all of them are toggle hold keyframe. What we also can do is having, let's say, a different shades from the same color, or maybe a white color instead. So maybe at second four, what we can do is changing all the colors light to white. And right now what you can see, like, it looks like a silhouette white logo, but if we change the intensity as well, this will give us a different result. So here what we will do also is making it toggle hold keyframes, all of them, and we change here the intensity. So let's say this one could be like 100. So you can see the difference now between the shades, and here it could be like 1, or actually 80 here would be nice. So now we have this different shades of white, and we can go back again at 5 seconds to our same colors from the beginning. I cloned these keyframes using the clone from Motion 2 here. So we can do whatever we want with these colors. It depends on our design and the direction we are animating it into. Now let's try to build the three triangles of School of Motion. For this part we can use a stroke, but a tapered one. Let me explain to you what I mean. So this is a usual stroke from the ones we did, but here in the stroke we enabled the taper and make the end length 100. So this give us the triangle look. So now let's start building our triangles here. As you can see, our lights here colors are the same white, but we used a different intensity to give us the different shade of colors. We will see when we are building our triangles. So for the first one, let's start with the green triangle. So let's pick our color here, green, and let's draw the stroke here from the center, because this is our centerpiece, the green triangle, and draw all the way down here. And now we can go to the stroke and make the taper start 100. And what we will do now is make this around 600, so it give us a nice base for our triangle. So this will be our first one. Now let's duplicate it, push it down till they intersect almost at this point here, and we can pick the color of our triangle. So this will be purple try, and we can push it a bit forward on X axis till it's actually in front of our green one. Duplicate it again, push it up till they intersect again at this point. Let's try to make it equal so it does look good at the end. So for this one we can name it red triangle, and let's pick the color of this one. Now we have the three main triangles. Let's duplicate this one and we name this one yellow try and pick the yellow color from here. Let's push it down here till we reach where they intersect and put another point here. Delete this one, reduce the stroke width to 300, and now what we need to do is just align this one perfectly here so it's be on the same level, and let's push it a bit on X axis, just 0.1 so it come in the front. Let's duplicate this one, push it down, align it again, and let's name this one cyan triangle and pick the color of our cyan one, and that's it. Now we have our School of Motion triangles ready for animation. Maybe extrude the green one here give it more extrusion. In 20 frames, it can land at 20, along with some position movement. It's gonna land here with easing, and we can just push it from all the way up inside the frame, just like this. Let's give some easing in for our extrusion depth so it feels longer while coming in. This too with bus animation. So all of them will be settling at this moment. So let's ease this out. And for the start, what we can do is increasing the size of our triangles so it looks really tall. We can just push it to this side and push the other one to the other side. And right now, can just also give a bit of easing in for the bus animation. Maybe some extrusion depths would work. So we can copy the keyframes here of the extrusion and give it to this one and this one. So let's make this like 1500, and same for this one. Stroke width, ease it out, 1500. Let's see how this will look like. So they are coming big and getting smaller all the way in. We can do the same for our cyan and triangles here. Give them the same position movement along with the extrusion as well of the green triangle. We can copy it here. So let's move these all the way out. Let's make sure we have easing the same for all of these. What we need to do now is adding a null object here, 3D one, but let's try to make sure that it aligned perfectly with our triangle here, the green one. So let's have a look from this side, the base of our triangle. So let's adjust it to be exactly here. Since we are looking from top, if we are looking from the right, we need to be on top of our triangle here and push it all the way to the bottom. Let's double check from front view, from custom view as well. Let's rotate the camera and make sure we are exactly at the base of our triangle here. Yeah, I think we are good. So if we go here, parent all of our strokes to this null object. Let's name it rotation control. So now let's give it a spin from 180 to 0. Now we can give it a bit of delay. So let's delay the green. Maybe after like 4 more frames we can delay the yellow. 4 more we can have the cyan one coming in, so it will look like this forming up. Now we will build something different. Here we will try to build some squares extruded to form some sort of a tunnel or a transition. So here in any like shape layer like what we had before, using the stroke here, what we can do is just draw this and it will give us this 3D look right away because it has the same geometric extrusion and it also has the same perspective. We can lose the fill for now, we don't need it, so we just need the stroke like last time, and we can make the stroke white so it doesn't really affect the colors of our light. So if we want to fill this one, what we can do is just increase the width of our layer. This will make it more like a fill color, but we still can control it. But for now, let's try to build some more of these, like this one. We can duplicate it and we can just go here to the contents rectangle one and rectangle path one. We can control the size and we reduce it till it form another one here, and we can duplicate it again, make another one here till we can see maybe this hole in the center completely gone. What we will do now is maybe build these in many different ways. First, we can try to increase the geometric options here, the extrusion depth. So we can push this one a bit more, like maybe around 100. And we can copy these geometric options and paste it on the other layers as well. So this will give us more thickness. So here what we will do is we add trim pass to all of these and start trimming them like this. 1 2 3, so 30 frames, and we ease it out, and we can take this one, add it to the other one, and maybe we change this one the offset to start in a different spot. So instead of starting up, we can make this like 180, so it will start from down there, so it will be like this. So as you can see here, when it takes some turns here, it looks a bit different, especially here when it is out towards the end. So to solve this, what we will need to do is select one and change the caps to projection. And this one as well, we change the caps to projecting. So it will look much better towards the corners. We will rotate this square in 30 frames and ease it out, and we can just like maybe give it 100 degrees. So it will look like this while we are building, and you see the colors are changing depend on which face we are seeing here. We can change the extrusion and the size of each square, and we can also look at it from the bottom perspective. So we change the position as well. So for example, the last one, this one should be the highest, so it will form some sort of a pyramid as well. We can ease in and out all these keyframes. Then we can have a look from the camera perspective. So if we look from the camera perspective, will show us some sort of optical illusion, like in this moment they are all in the same level, and here as they are actually a pyramid, but as you can see at this point here they are look all on the same level, but here you kind of feel the depths of the extrusion we did. And we can animate it out also, pushing this one to the top and this one down, and the last one could just go down up as well. This one is going in the same direction because it's parented, so we'll just push this one up and then take the other one down like this. And as usual, we will just ease in and out all these keyframes. This is looking nice, but I think what we need to do is having it rotate almost all the time so it doesn't really stop. So let's remove this middle keyframe and make this one linear, just continuous rotation. Let's adjust the position of this one as well so it doesn't really merge with the other one edge. I think this will be nice. I think if we have some more extrusion here towards the end, this will make it look more interesting while leaving the screen. So let's maybe push this all extrusions to maybe like 600. So right now we have this small one needs to go up, the smaller one is already down, the big one should be all the way up, and then this one could go all the way down. I think we need to make all these positions here at the end linear. I think we have a nice result here, and it looks really nice. Changing the colors depend on the perspective of our lights. What we can also do is actually try many different shapes. So for example, if we started another duplicate here, let's say another shape, and for this one we will just remove all the keyframes here and adjust the rotation to be 0 and solo this one for now. A square, so I'll just delete this rectangle and let's add one of these polygon shapes. So when I do this, it will look like this because my polygon has only 3 points, but if I increase it, it will give us any different shape we need. Could be anything you want, and of course you can extrude this. It could be anything you really want to do. I hope you have learned a lot so far. My goal when I built this was finding a way to make my logo feel like an optical illusion stairs. So feel free to try this technique in many different applications and tag me and School of Motion. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to School of Motion channel so we can teach you even more design and animation tips.